So, my fellow, do you have what it takes to become a viceroy?
Hello everybody and welcome back to Cat and Kitty Gaming. My name is Matt and today we are doing another what we call Cat Solo. That's where it's just you and me taking a look at something together without Kelsey. Today we're taking a first look at a game called Against the Storm, which recently popped up on Steam in early access. This game is it's a roguelite, and if you don't know what that means, basically the idea is that every time you do a playthrough, the world is kind of randomized. You don't always know what you're going to find, and it's kind of a test of your ability to adapt to your situation. So no two playthroughs are going to be exactly the same. This game is in early access right now. It is, I think, at the time of this recording, it's like $16 or something like that. So it's a pretty good deal. It reminds me a little bit of that game Factory Town, which you've also seen me play. It's, of course, got a very different feel, a much more dark aesthetic. But I'm really enjoying the heck out of this game already. So I'm going to be taking a first look at this with you guys. I have played through some already just so I have a sense of what I'm doing. This is really meant to help you get an idea of whether or not this is something you'd be interested in. But I do already highly recommend it, so we're going to go ahead and get into a playthrough here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and summarize this here. If you are interested in kind of the lore, you can go ahead and watch some of the videos on the Steam page for this game, but I'm going to go ahead and skip this just for the sake of time. Okay, so we have skipped the tutorial, and right now we're in kind of like the upgrade screen. So we don't have a lot of points available, so we're just going to go ahead and buy this. Basically, you'll understand what these things mean once we get into the game, but these are just some sort of passive benefits we can unlock. So we're in kind of this dark world, where you can see, governed by the Eternal Blightstorm cycle. Basically, there's a big nasty storm that covers the world, and the entire lives of these people is sort of, dictated by that. So there's like this queen that rules over the world, and we all have to kind of pull back into this middle area here when the storm comes. But now we're going to go out and expand and create some settlements here. Okay, so I can choose what I want to start with. I'm going to take this caravan because it's always better to have a variety of different kinds of settlers. We're going to go with the easiest difficulty just for now, so I don't have to concentrate quite as hard while I'm trying to do commentary. And I can also say what extra resources I want to bring. I would definitely bring more food than anything, but actually I have enough points to bring all three of these, so we'll just go ahead and bring them all. Okay, so we've embarked here. So what this is basically telling me, trees give a little more wood, villagers eat a little bit less, insects are easy to collect after rainfall, wood is lighter, woodcutters can carry more wood, okay? And then these are the negative effects that happen during like the stormy spell. And we can talk more about those sort of global effects a little bit later. So here we are in the world, and we are in charge of this settlement. And basically the queen has tasked us to create this little settlement here, and she will periodically give us tasks that we have to go and complete. I skipped the tutorial, as I said, but I highly recommend that you do the tutorial the first time you play through, because this game is fairly complex and not necessarily super intuitive all the time. So one thing I like to do when I'm starting off here is just build some roads. And roads, I should say paths rather. Paths are free, they don't cost anything, they just take workers some time to make. Now, in the beginning, the game is going to give us 3 blueprints to pick from. Some of these blueprints here, like the farms or the gardens, they have to have specific types of terrain to be placed, whereas this is just more like, these discoverable resources here are a little bit more common. So I think we're going to go ahead and pick that first. I think I am going to go with the rain mill, though. I think I'm going to go with the kiln. And I'll explain those choices in a little bit more detail as we go along here. Starting off, I have a couple different camps available to me. Woodcutters camp does exactly what it sounds like. People there will chop wood. And right here, you can see we have some forageable food from these eggs. So we're going to go ahead and place a scavenger's camp right there. And hit spacebar to unpause. And my villagers will start getting to work. You can see I have 2 different kinds right here. We have beavers and lizards. There are also humans. We don't have any humans just yet, but we can acquire some fairly soon here. Fast forward a little bit. Each different race has different benefits and drawbacks. Each of them are, strong in particular ways, weak in others. Of course, you want to try to utilize them as best you can to maximize your efficiency. Now, when we started off here, it took a resource to build called, what are those called actually? Here we go, just parts. Basically, these are used to create different camps and things, and you have a limited amount of them, but they don't cost wood, which is interesting. They just cost these parts. So here, if I go into my woodcutter's camp, it just takes these parts. So, unsurprisingly, beavers have a bonus for things like woodcutting, so we're going to assign the beavers to do the woodcutting. And now what I can do is I can tell my beavers what wood I want them to chop. And I'm going to have them go here into this glade. You can see there's these kind of hidden glades here where I can't see what's in them yet, but as soon as I chop a little path through them, I'll be able to see. Now I need to assign someone to do this, so let's just assign some lizards to do this. One of the most important aspects of this game is exploration. It's looking through these glades here, and you never know what you're going to find, especially in these big ones with this big scary icon here. Now, when you see these, your first inclination might be to think, oh, there's some kind of big monster in there, and not really. There can be nasty things in there, but the game always gives you time to respond to them. So as long as you have a healthy, camp, with a decent amount of, supplies and storage, you should be able to respond to most any threat they present. Now, I wouldn't recommend opening up more than one of them at a time, though. Generally, these do give global penalties that can, of course, affect the morale of your settlers, affect production, that kind of thing. So generally, I would open them one at a time so you have a chance to respond to each of them. But these smaller ones don't contain any of the negative things, so we're just going to open a couple smaller ones first. Start chopping down that way more. Let's unpause. Now, we can go up here, pick a cornerstone. That's exactly what I was just about to talk about. So a cornerstone is basically a boon that the queen offers you. This is probably the more useful of the two. It won't be useful right this second, but perhaps later. We need to pick an order from the queen. You can see down here this red bar is the queen's impatience. Now that was that little passive effect that I bought early on, is that her impatience would grow more slowly. So this is going to keep going up until I start completing some tasks. When I do complete one of her orders, her impatience will go down a little bit. My reputation will go up. I have to fill this bar in order to complete the scenario. The way that's done, there's a couple ways, but the primary way is here by completing orders. So it doesn't really matter which one of these I pick at the moment. I just open one, and then I have to decide which one I think is okay. This is already a pretty easy choice. You pretty much want to always go for the easier objective unless you think the resources in the other one are better. In this case, I actually don't. I actually would rather have these. But opening glades is pretty easy, so we're going to go ahead and pick that one. And I can pick another one right away. Let's pick this one. Another thing worth mentioning is ways that we can keep our population happy. And as you can see right now, we have a lot of people who are homeless. And naturally, that's going to have an effect on their resolve, is what they call this little meter here. So let's go ahead and just make a couple of shelters. Boy, that icon doesn't get any bigger. Hold on. For the sake of the video, can we scale the UI? That's a little bit more of a happy medium. Okay. We're going to put a stone cutter here where we can collect. From here, we get clay, which gives us clay, but also has a chance of giving us copper ore or roots. All right, so now you can see our homeless numbers are going down, which is definitely a good thing for our resolves. We're just going to keep slowly building these. We don't want to burn through too much of our wood, and the main reason why is this thing right here, the hearth. The hearth is sort of it's providing warmth to the area around it. Yeah, if the fire goes out, people's resolve will fade pretty quickly. It's not game over if you run out of fuel for the hearth, but it's not good. You'll find yourself probably losing pretty quickly unless you have a lot of other bonuses going. You want to keep some fuel on hand at all times. This little thing here shows me how long we are in a cycle, and each cycle represents a year. What we're seeing here is hostility of the forest. This is kind of a hard one to explain because it's very invisible. You don't really see it happening, but basically the more stuff you're doing, the more hostility people feel from the forest. In this case, you can see the forest really does not like all my woodcutters. Just the villagers existing, doesn't like that. If I want to offset that hostility feeling, I have to do other things to increase their resolve. So you can see that things like the hearth or the queen's lack of, very small amount of impatience with us. Those kinds of things are kind of offsetting some of the resolve. Okay, so here we completed an order, so let's just check that off. All right, so we've completed that order. Now we will be permitted to pick a new building. I think we're going to go with lumber mill. You need a lot of planks as you keep going through the game, and having more than one way to get planks is pretty handy. We don't really have enough workers to make much else right now. I'm kind of waiting for these guys to finish, like, opening these glades. I'm not really sure what's taking them so long. Oh, you know what? I think I know what's happening. I know what's happening. An option I think I checked that is screwing me up here. I told them to avoid opening glades just so they didn't get accidentally opened, but I also forgot to tell them to cut marked trees by default. So there we go. They're still not... Okay, I really need them to open these glades. What's going on? Have I encountered a bug here? This is an early access game, so that's certainly possible. Okay, so we completed a cycle, which means we get some more villagers and 3 humans. That sounds perfect. We need humans, and they're bringing food and stuff with them. Excellent. Well, I'm a little puzzled here, guys. I don't know what's going on. This was not happening when I was playing earlier. Oh, hey everybody. Welcome back. So, you might be wondering, why does everything suddenly look so different? Well, in the previous playthrough I was doing there, for whatever reason, my villagers were absolutely refusing to open any glades no matter what I did. And if you hadn't picked up on that by now, opening glades is like, kind of like the essential gameplay loop of this game. So if your villagers aren't going to open any glades, you're kind of going to be a little bit screwed. So, we're going to try again. We're going to start over here and see if maybe we just encountered some kind of bug or something. But it is worth reiterating at this point that this game is in early access, so it is definitely possible we're going to encounter more bugs like that. And doesn't mean it's not a good game, just means, you know, hey, it's in early access, they're still working on it. So anyway, let's pick up ourselves a few blueprints. Small farm, perfect. There's fertile land up here in the corner. Kiln is hard to replace. We're going to pick the kiln second. Let's do the provisioner next. And we'll pick up another food building third. I'm going to build one of you, and you guys will be able to forage all kinds of different stuff at the same time. Perfect. I will say the look of this second area, pretty dang cool. Okay, it appears the woodcutting issue is fixed, thankfully. Hopefully they'll address whatever that bug I encountered was in a future update. So let's go ahead and pick a cornerstone. All right, new villager every time we discover a new glade. That sounds pretty useful to me. Let's just start making a few shelters. I'm gonna get our people in housing as soon as we can. All right, 3 glades explored. Pretty straightforward. Let's do that one. Actually, let's go ahead and pick a second one right away. Have 6 lizards for at least 30 seconds. I think we can manage that considering we have 6 lizards. 7, in fact. All right, so we've discovered a glade. We've got some insects, we've got some vegetables, and some coal. Oh, okay. I've never seen it just kind of sitting there like that before. So that'll be interesting. After all, I did play... I forgot to mention this earlier, but I did play the demo of this game. There is a demo available, and the demo is... I believe if you go on their Steam page, you can download the demo, of course, completely for free. Give you a good idea of whether or not you're interested in this game. You just play through it for... It's actually quite a bit of content they'll have available to you just in the demo there. So if you're on the fence, definitely go check it out. I have a lot of spare workers, so we're just going to assign some lizards to this for now. And I want you guys to prioritize planks. That's the thing I'm most concerned about. So there's a lot of glades over this way, which don't have any dangerous nastiness in them. So one nice thing you can do here is you can move buildings and it does not cost you anything. I find that pretty dang handy. And that's one of the things I enjoy about this game, is it encourages you to adapt to your situation. Open up another glade here, and we have found stone and stormbird eggs. Okay. And let's just go ahead and build paths. Now paths, as I believe I said this, only give you a 5% bonus to movement speed. But when they're walking back and forth hundreds of times, 5% adds up. So it's definitely worth doing, especially because they don't cost you anything. Okay, there we go. Complete those orders. That gives me 2 new blueprints to choose from. Foragers camp, yeah, and there's a couple of forageables over in that one glade, so we'll do foragers camp. I think we're going to do cookhouse. You want to make sure you have plenty of options for food. Have enough planks? Let's go ahead and make ourselves a small farm. Alright, did we open up? Yes, we did open up another glade. Okay, so here we have a cache of supplies. Now we need these simple tools to open up the supplies, which I don't think we have any at the moment. Oh, do you guys want me to mark the trees? I see. I see. They want me to mark trees. Okay. Yeah, so it appears that as things currently stand, there's some kind of bug with that, where if you turn that option on, it just like stays on. But I'm sure they will get that addressed just as soon as they can. But that's fine. Manually marking trees is slightly annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so now we build a farm, but we need to build fields next to our farm. And it can only be built on this like fertile ground right here. Let's go ahead and make some farm fields. We can just kind of click and drag. Now humans get a bonus to things like farming. So let's see if we can't reassign humans who are working other places right now. Let's have a lizard do that, and you can come over here and farm. One thing I tend to find in this game is that it's very easy to fall behind on food production. So you want to try to invest in multiple forms of food production as early as you can. Okay, why don't we go ahead and pick a new order. Solve any 2 glade events. Let's go ahead and do that one. It's probably about time to start solving some of these glade events anyway. That's going to be the ones with this big scary icon in it. At the end of the day, you're usually better off for having explored them. There are good things to be found, good rewards in there. Alright, so we completed another cycle, so we can choose another cornerstone. Okay, so you have to be careful about this one. Global production is 50% faster, but no trading. Traders can be really handy for helping you get resources that are scarce in your particular map, so I don't necessarily recommend this. This boon is not super helpful, but the deserted caravan one is... I don't know, I'm cautious of that one. One of the things I try to do with my woodcutters is have one that's close to my storage area here. That way, no matter what, I always have wood that's close by, and it can be easily brought to the hearth. One thing that it's not immediately obvious, other than, you know, the tutorial might tell you, is that workers will work until the storage of the camp is full. They will then bring the resources back. They can only carry so much at a time, so it might take them a couple trips. Then they'll stop here at the hearth and get something to eat, and then they'll go back to work and do it all over again. So resources tend to kind of come in bursts. So if you have a camp like this that's really far away, sometimes it takes a really long time to actually get all of your resources. So just have to be careful about that. Now, we're starting to produce some crops. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a cookhouse. You want to be careful to leave yourself some room, because you have to put your shelters near your hearth. The hearth provides warmth. Now, you can build additional smaller hearths, but of course they're going to take extra wood, extra fuel, so you have to be careful of that. And if I put, like, for example, my cookhouse here, I can move my cookhouse somewhere else. So it's not the end of the world. So what we're going to do is we're going to set these recipes, make sure they're using everything that they possibly can. When we go in here, the skewers, for example, I can tell it, I can say I want you to use all the possible options, or I can exclude meat, I can exclude mushrooms. Basically, I can manage my resources however I want. Now, unfortunately, I don't have flour, so we can't make biscuits at the moment. We are making skewers. And when we make something like skewers, the more food that we make, the more kinds of food we make, the more it'll boost the resolve of our settlers here. So, okay, so while I was off doing other things, we ended up unlocking another glade that has more farmland in it. So that's actually really nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my woodcutters in closer. And now I'm going to mark some of these trees, and I can hold down shift to make it a smaller cursor. But I'm going to do this, and that will, you can see there's some trees covering the fertile ground. So we're going to harvest those trees and make sure we get as much of that fertile ground as we possibly can. Okay, so here we are at last. We opened up one of these big scary glades full of stuff. And boy, there's a lot to talk about in here. So, first things first, let's just get this woodcutter's hut out of the way. That'll make things just a little more efficient. Let's put you guys back here. Let's have you open up this glade. And now we can pick a new cornerstone. All right, we already have this one. Plus, getting your grain production up is really handy. As I said, food can become a problem. So this is going to increase our grain production by 1 every 25 times it's produced. So it'll kind of snowball, which is awesome. All right, let's unpause and let's take a look and see what is going on in this glade. We got a graveyard. Okay, so right now the active effect is more hostility. So we don't want more hostility. That is a big no-no. We don't want that. So we're going to tell our workers to come over here, and oh wow, planks are actually the only thing we've got to deal with this, which is okay. That's slightly annoying, but is what it is. I think I'm going to go ahead and yeah, there's just some rare rewards. Let's go ahead and do that. So, okay, so this working effect is now active. We get more hostility directed at us. It's going to make our workers kind of unhappy, but we've got people coming on the way to deal with it. And we should be done dealing with this problem here pretty shortly. All right, you can see our hostility is climbing, so that's not great. And people's resolve is kind of tanking as a result. Okay, so right now what's happening is my villagers have to carry these rewards back in order to kind of like deactivate this little negative effect here, which is interesting, but that's how it works. All right, kiln. Lizards love working in hot places, so the kiln is perfect for them. This will also allow us to complete the coal part of this. Okay, so now that we're in the happy cycle, hostility went way down, which is nice. So that means we've got a much bigger boon to our resolve. As you can see, when resolve gets high, we start accruing passive renown points, which is, or excuse me, reputation, I should say. We started accruing passive reputation, which is what we need to win the game. If we can keep everybody happy enough, we can win the game that way. It takes a while, but you can do it. So hopefully we can keep it that way. Let's see if we can here. Okay, so one thing I haven't done up till this point, because I've just been kind of preoccupied, is I haven't built a trader. Quite often the trader will have useful items that are hard to come by any other way. Let's build a trader and see what we can make out of it. All right, Zorg, what do you got for us? Those are a little hard to come by. Why don't we buy some meat? Is it provisions? Like here, how about one vegetable? There you go. Now we're even. Excellent. Alrighty, so we completed another year here. The village has grown quite substantially. I haven't really shown you guys the whole thing yet, but we've got some farming up here, got some foraging up here. It's grown pretty expansive. We got the trader now, so that's been helping, of course. And now we can welcome some newcomers who have... Oh, let's go ahead and get those copper bars. Those are hard to get. And in amber for every 100 ale produced. Yeah, that sounds pretty nice. The roadblock we're hitting at the moment is that the next objective here, next order, is either clothing or luxury goods, and I don't have anything that can produce either of those things so far as I can tell. Oh, and yeah, I keep forgetting about decorations. I believe those are like morale boosters. See if that helps. I actually don't even know what this does. It says current level. Okay, additional effects. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay, I built the wrong kind of decorations. They have to be comfort decoration. Comfort. Oh, all right. So oh, they want to be comfortable. Okay, well, I suppose that's fair. Okay, so yeah, increases people's resolve. Excellent. Very good. Are we getting any passive resolve? We're not. Okay. Maybe we can add some more like extra housing and stuff to help with that. And what about another beaver house? Finally have enough materials to make these. Add a little more housing. I kind of think we're going to have to get there with resolve because I'm not getting access to any of the buildings necessary to complete these orders. Okay, we got ourselves another brewery. Let's put some humans in here. I want you to prioritize ale. Ale is your priority numero uno. Alright, now we've got some ale stored up. Means we can finally... a tavern. That will help with resolve. Looks like we're close to getting enough like resolve with our beavers to get some passive reputation points. Okay, so one thing I didn't realize is that as you gain reputation points, even passively, the queen's impatience with you goes down. So that's pretty nice. Allows us to choose a blueprint. I mean, at this point, we may as well pick a lizard house since we're already going for the passive victory here. Oh, we won. Hey, we did it. We won. Excellent. 14 food stockpile points, experience points. Awesome. Now, we could continue on with the settlement if we wanted. I'm not going to do that because I want to move on to the next map. Okay, so here we are back on the world map. And I'm going to probably do at least part of another map here so you guys can see just the variety of how all this works. All right, let's see if we can't find a slightly different biome than what we did last time. So maybe we can go, let's try that. I think we're going to go ahead and take this group here because the head variety is nice. Fisherman Ritual Site, a holy site for the fishermen. No envoy dares to pass through here. Orders are disabled. That's very strange. There's no orders on this map. So how do I win by just gaining... Oh, so I have to win with passive resolve. Huh. That is fascinating to think about already. So we just have to make people happy. Hey. Well, that's going to be an interesting and unique challenge. Let's start the same way we did last time. Let's build ourselves a woodcutter's camp. And we got some roots. Oh, we got a farm there. Excellent, excellent. All right, we have a farmland there, so let's pick a farm. Kiln is handy. We're going to pick the kiln. I'm going to go with the lumber mill. Queenie is going to be very impatient with us because we can't complete any orders to appease her. So we're pretty much going to want to send everything we possibly can back to the Citadel. Well, this is certainly going to stretch our ingenuity. Let's see what we can come up with here. Oh yeah, we got to pick a cornerstone. Let's do that. Plant fiber, delivery. Yeah, that's anything that's a passive resource delivery is pretty handy. I'm always a fan of those. And we're going to move you guys right away over here. Okay, so I think one of the goals here is going to be have as few homeless workers as possible. Seems to me like that's going to be one of the only ways to build up resolve quickly. All right, you guys are about to break through, and oh, look at all that farmland. Nice. Sure we get as much of that as possible. All right, we got another glade. Okay, we can put a scavenger camp in there. Okay, another one's opened up here. And not a whole lot doing. Some plant fiber and some sea marrow. And we're just going to keep leapfrogging here, see what we can find. I think exploration is going to be pretty key in completing this map, if we can at all. So, yeah, here we go. Okay, yet another one opens up, and again, nothing really all that exciting, except this, which we don't have enough simple tools. Hopefully we can find more stuff like that, as well as maybe a way to make simple tools. This is going to be tough. Frankly, we got a lot of stuff we need to be doing here. But hey, as usual, keep leapfrogging forward and hope for the best. Okay, so we finally have some wooden planks. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a farm. Alright, we've broken through to another glade, and we got some vegetables and some more of these guys. We gotta find ourselves a way to make simple tools. Alright, there we go. Breaking into another glade, and we've got some more meat and some more abandoned caches. Yeah, we're gonna have to start shipping these things off in short order, but we gotta find a way to get simple tools. And I'm not sure how we're gonna get those just yet. Probably our only option is gonna be to build a trader post. We have the materials, so I guess we're just gonna have to go ahead and build one. So here we go. Let's see what we can get. Alright, so we finally completed construction of the trader. Alright, we desperately need these. He wants 34. Oh boy. Alright, what can we trade him for those? Alright, that helps. What about some sea marrow? Rare and expensive. You know what? I might just attack him. I feel like we're kind of at a desperate point here, so let's see what happens. What happens if we assault the merchant? Okay, we lost... okay. Oh boy, yeah. That did not go over well. We lost the lizard. Oh, okay, we lost our firekeeper. Whoa, alright. So, I mean, we got some of the things that we needed. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Not what I would have preferred to do, but I felt like we were getting kind of desperate and we just didn't really have the things we needed to get him to trade with us. But we need to get ourselves some points. Let's ship these off. Things are getting dicey here, guys. Our queen is losing her patience. Okay, so we solved the glade event. And if we solve... Are we solving... We're working on this one too. Okay, we opened this thing, so we gotta work on that too. Let's pick the trapper. Need to go deal with the leaking cauldron. The leaky cauldron, one might say. So as I recall, this event doesn't take like resources. You just have to like come and work on it for a little bit. All right, now next time a trader arrives, we will actually have no sane merchant is currently willing to risk coming to your village. I didn't think the consequences would be quite that severe. I kind of feel like we might have not had much of a choice though. Maybe I was overestimating exactly how dire our situation was, but I hope I don't come to regret that. Okay, good. Glade event solved. All right, I think Rain Mill is our best option. Oh boy. All right, so we got an upgrade. What does that do? Okay, it does boost our resolve, which is good. I kind of wish I'd have thought to do that earlier. Oh man. I was hoping someone would be, willing to risk it. Not that I can really blame them, I suppose. If I don't seem like I'm offering quite as much helpful advice as before, that's because I'm about as lost as you guys are on this one. I played through a number of different levels, and none of them had a quirk quite like this. Never had the thing where there were no orders able to be completed. Okay, so we've been playing this particular scenario for a little while here, and things are kind of imploding on us. As you can see, the Queen's ire is quite high, and I don't have any means of improving my resolve that I can see. I'm about to get into this glade, and if I can solve this glade event quickly enough and get this point, it would push her anger down, but I don't think I'm going to get there in time, unless maybe if I just only chop that tree. Yeah, chop that one right there. I think we're going to lose, guys. The Queen is about to kick us out of here. She is very, very wroth. Come on, woodcutter. Can we at least find what's in the glade? Okay, what do we find? Okay. We need to, we don't have that. Oh crap, we don't have any of this stuff. Oh, no. No. Oh, man. Oh, we still earn some rewards. Okay. As you can see, I breezed through that first level without too much difficulty, but the difficulty can change on you in a heartbeat. So you've got to be prepared for pretty much anything. And the whole point here is just adjusting, making quick decisions, trying to change your strategy based on what the map is offering you. So if you found this interesting, you can certainly head over to the Steam page and download the demo and give it a try. Even the demo is a lot of fun. Still gives you lots of things to do, lots of options for testing out the game. Early access, it's available currently for about $16. I think it's quite a steal considering how much there is to do in this game. Well, that's going to be all from me. I always appreciate you guys watching, and please do leave me a comment below to let me know what you thought of the video and what you think of this game, and if you might want to try it out for yourself. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.